Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video is all about the new moon of the 11th of January 2024. The January new moon, it's important to know, actually has a saving grace energy if we can locate it and if we can manage not to be distracted by the rest of the model. I'll tell you all about it. So the new moon is at 26 Vedic Sagittarius in Purva Ashada Nakshatra. So that's at 20 degrees Western Tropical Capricorn. So check out what house in your birth chart is Vedic Sagittarius. Houses indicates life areas. And this new moon will especially manifest through Sagittarius, but also Aries, Virgo and Pisces as key houses or life areas for us to be aware of this time. So I'll now go on to define the saving grace and the very important to understand distracting model. But first of all, let's note that the main blessing that can be found, let's note its nature. The saving grace of this new moon is that it occurs at the time of a very special energy exchange of planets in signs. It occurs at the time of Mars in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So we have a Jupiter-Mars exchange, and that can be very expansive and successful. So let's go on for more detail. Another very important thing to understand is that this new moon is square the nodal axis. That alerts us that a special insight gift can be achieved if we can connect to that gift. A special, almost to do with fate and destiny insight gift. And that is that growth in our healing can occur, and we're called to make it occur now, including intuitive connection to our health and healing improvement. Okay, a big danger, I would say, is that this new moon, being in Purvashada Nakshatra, means that usually a negative manifestation of the face of Venus is encountered. But if we're forewarned and forearmed about that, well, then we can purify the energies that we're picking up. And we can purify our connection to Venus, and we can achieve better learning about the deep divine nature, the best understanding of the sun and the moon, which are joining in Venus-ruled Purvashada Nakshatra. Very important also to realize is that Saturn is super strong in its sign where it's transiting now, which it rules, namely Aquarius. Saturn transiting in Aquarius deeply calls us to improve our awareness of our karmas, what we have to do now at this time in our life and in our life generally. That includes manifesting the good karmas we came in with and burning the negative karmas we came in with. It's so important also to realise there's a big visionary and intuitive energy at the time of this new moon. Now we have to tap into the visionary, intuitive possibilities, listen for them, work to go to meet them. This is because Neptune is involved. But as you'll see below when we go into the detail, we do have to cut out the possibilities for illusion and deception that can come along with Neptune energies. So, let's look a bit more detail about the saving grace. Well, the special blessing of this new moon is that it occurs when Jupiter and Mars are in a very favourable aspect for putting energy into areas of your expansion and blessing and planning forward. This saving grace energy is, as I said, because Jupiter is in Aries, the sign that Mars rules, and Mars is in Sagittarius, the sign that Jupiter rules. It's an exchange of signs for the planets involved. So a powerful Parivartana yoga has been created. So our call when we're preparing for this new moon is to feel our way into awareness and grow positive intention regarding this Parivartana Jupiter-Mars energy amid all the mess of this time. And we need to make a conscious decision to focus on that divine blessing goal. What exactly is it in our life that we should put such energy into and receive such enlargement and blessing? Yeah, we need to get that realization, but as I keep repeating, we mustn't be distracted by the mess that's also going on at the same time. So we've got to be aware of the mess and go forward moment to moment in a purposeful, strong, calm and directed, embodied way. We have to make a conscious effort to realize that a new moon is a special time for centering, for tuning in, for making intentions, for growing our awareness of the meaning of the energies that come to us through the planets, for growing our awareness of our own problem areas as well as our own talent areas. So I do suggest, particularly at the time of this new moon, which is a bit complicated and is surrounded by messy energies, that you do a new moon vision work or meditation. So during your new moon vision work or meditation, check out the houses or life areas that are Sagittarius and Aries in your chart, remembering also the activation of the nodal axis, Ketu in Virgo, Rahu in Pisces. Such a special time for healing and intuitive healing. Having worked out which are the life areas, which house is Sagittarius, which house is Aries, then pause to identify the divine nature of Jupiter. Jupiter is guru, blessing and sense of purpose. Are you open to that? Do we need to open more? Mars is the planet of action, but of course it should be spiritually correct action. How attuned are you to the divine nature of Mars? How well do you express Mars? For example, if you've got Mars conjunct Chiron, you're born to do a lot of learning to achieve the expression of Mars. So having gone through those steps, I suggest you now sit in the middle of that Parivata energy and see your special flame. I'm thinking in a way of the energy of asteroid Vesta, the sacred flame. In a time of such mess, attune to your sacred flame, because you'll get a better and more divine perception of Mars and Jupiter and whatever it is in your life that needs to grow and succeed and receive blessings. So identify your own very special flame. What is your special flame? Embody that at this time of important decision making, where we try to set a good intention for dealing with this lunation period ahead. So make time and space to identify your flame, to connect to the energies. Remember how you feel when connected to your sacred flame, and carry that energy forward into the month and see the flame grow brighter and brighter. And I would say at this messy energy time, stay grounded. I would say contact with the natural world could be so very helpful. The strength of the rocks, the beauty of the coast, the strength of the oak tree, the land, and so on. As I've mentioned earlier, this new moon is actually square the nodal axis. The new moon's at 26 Sagittarius. The nodal axis is Ketu at 26 Virgo opposite Rahu at 26 Pisces. It's an exact square. And as I said, this particular Ketu in Virgo, Neptune in Pisces axis is the axis of the intuitive healer. Become your own intuitive healer. You know, don't get bullied by, as it were, the medical establishment or an over-officious alternative practitioner. Use your intuition to see what medications you might need, what different changes in lifestyle. Maybe you need to take more exercise, for example. So it's very much a time now to use this new moon period to increase your health and your intuitive abilities. Keep the purification process going. Okay, as a second supporting issue, remember, this is the year of Saturn. Saturn is so strong in the sign of Aquarius where Saturn is transiting. And when Saturn is strong, he insists that we fulfill the karmas we incarnated with. He insists that we tie up all loose ends in our life to clear the stage for proper action ahead, to give you better ability to improve your awareness of your karmas, the ones you were born to work with in this life, to find better ways to achieve destined karmic achievement. What were you really born to achieve in your life? What were you really born to achieve at this stage in your life? You see, we all of us come in to this life where Ketu is in our birth chart, and each one of us is thrown across the chart to where Rahu is, always opposite Ketu, and Rahu sets a sort of fate and destiny direction. But it's so important to learn about your past life issues. I've found it absolutely such wonderful help, to have past life readings and to work on my ancestral issues. And with Ketu in Virgo now, the sign of the healer, please do develop in those areas. So I now come thirdly to the intuitive and visionary opening nature of Neptune. So Neptune's at 1 Pisces, and Neptune does wonderfully in Pisces, although it varies between different individuals, we have to be so careful to cut out the illusions and delusions that us humans can experience Neptune energy through. But don't forget the very positive visionary potentials of Neptune. And so, at the time of your centering, at the start of the new moon, and at regular times through the lunation, use these wonderful Neptune energies to grow your awareness of the meaning of all the other energies, indeed including the Mess energies, which we'll be coming to, so that you manage this period better, so that you grow spiritually, so that you grow in your awareness of your problem areas, so that you grow in awareness of your talents and how to achieve those. Okay, we better sort of define the Mess energies. Well, it might be surprising for you to hear that number 1 is the problematic energy of Venus at the time of this new moon. I really think this is the case. You see, the new moon is in Purvashada Nakshatra, which is ruled by Venus. But Venus is handled in quite a major problem way by many people who have major planets in Purvashada Nakshatra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant and Venus, for example. You see, Purvashada energy is a star energy of strength and victory. They like to be invincible. They smash through anything in their way. They can go in for obstinacy and denial. They're definitely proud, independent and obstinate, and can't be influenced by others when they could do with that influence, because they have an intense conviction of their superiority, that they can't lose, that they have the ability to come out on top. This is the negative side of Purvashada Nakshatra. And each of us are born with, it's important to understand, where the nakshatras are supreme keys as to our emotionally based personality, but it's a key to our emotionally based personality, warts and all. And over our lifetime, we have to acknowledge the bad side of our nakshatra energy and grow and boost the spiritual side. So here we are in a new moon where there's a rather problematic manifestation of divine Venus. And I think the answer is, to note the problematic sides to Venus that you might see in others or experience in yourself, but to develop above all at this time, and to use this time to develop loving kindness. You see, the highest form of Venus is the preceptor of demons. By being loving and kind, one can heal bad energies. And so I would say that from the time of this new moon and through the lunation, we're actually called to make an exercise of purification. And it's not easy because we might be very attached to our bad Venus scripts. But it might help also if we include in our start meditation contacting the divine sun and the divine moon. Because, of course, the sun is conjunct the moon in Purvashada Nakshatra ruled by Venus. And what a gift if we can use awareness of what the divine sun is, what the divine moon is going forward in the month. So the divine sun, as regards the divine sun's place in our personality and life, is the divine being who dwells in each being as our true self. And of course we have to shed all the negative skins to see and contact the divine self, and then let the divine self shine out into the world. Because the sun is cosmic intelligence, and our divine sun within us is the chance to connect with pure consciousness, the more enlightened mind. It's a guide to the self that we need to achieve, us personally, each of us in this incarnation. And then, yes, there's the divine moon. Well, the moon is mind, emotion, feeling and consciousness. There's a lot of mess around at the time of this new moon. Will our divine moon be, messed up and get cut off from it? Try and cultivate